Hey, buenos dias, guys. Welcome back to another video of Mike in Mexico. I appreciate you all for tuning in once again. Well, guys, today it is raining crazy hard, which means I'm going to be staying home. I'm not going to work because I value my life and I'd rather lose some money and be safe. But this is going to segue perfectly into my video today, which is going to be about the pros and cons of doing rideshare in San Diego while living in Tijuana. This is something I know a lot about, guys. It's been 8 years now, and a little bit about how I got into rideshare. I was teaching English back in LA. I taught for a total of 4 years, and I would once in a while hop an Uber to go home instead of taking the subway, and I'd always be speaking to drivers. This was 2018, and I couldn't believe how much money they told me they were making at the time. A bunch of drivers that didn't know each other, different drivers, were telling me that they were making upwards of $1,800 to $2,000 a week. I didn't believe it. I went ahead and got on the app, and sure enough, back then it was true for various reasons. Okay, it's not quite the same now, but that's how I got started in rideshare. I quit my job as an English teacher and decided to start driving full time. And in the first couple of years, I was making double what I made teaching. Okay, so well, let's get into it right away. If you are thinking about coming to Tijuana, you're already a rideshare driver, or you want to do rideshare, let's first talk about the pros of doing rideshare, driving for Uber or Lyft in San Diego, but living in Tijuana. And the very first thing, number one, is going to be you cross La Linea whenever you want. Okay, the number one pro. You're going to get to cross La Linea whenever you want. You are not going to be like people that have to be at work at a certain time. Maybe they're working at Amazon, maybe they're working at Panda Express, nurses. They all got to be at work at a certain time. And God bless those people that cross the line at 2 in the morning and then go sleep in their car and then work an 8 hour shift and then come back home. I just spoke to a gentleman like that yesterday who ended up moving back to San Diego, picked him up over there in Solana Beach, and he told me he had just moved back to San Diego about a year ago because it got too hard for him to keep waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. to cross the line. If you're doing rideshare, you don't got to worry about this stuff, man. You cross whenever you want to. You are working late at night in San Diego and you don't wake up till 9, 10, 11. Well, you can cross whenever you want to. There's no pressure to cross. Okay. So that's the number one. Well, number one on the pro list, okay, is crossing the line whenever you want. It may be one of those days where you're crossing the line and there's it's a Mexican holiday, like when I crossed during Benito Juarez, the line I was waiting, even Chaparral, I was waiting for about 2 hours to get over to the other side. You're not in danger of being reprimanded at your job or being fired because as a rideshare driver, okay, you're making your own hours, right? You're making your own hours, which comes to the second pro of working rideshare. You make your own hours, okay? Some people love driving graveyard because they want to avoid traffic, okay? They want to do 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and get that crowd. Um, Other people like myself in LA, I'd rather wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and then just work from the morning all the way down to 4 p.m. Okay. Uh, some people enjoy the day shift. You may be not feeling like driving one day for whatever reason. You may be tired. Somebody may call you at home. You can shut the app off and go home. One of the convenient things, definitely one of the pros of gig work. No set hours, you make your own. So that does give you a lot of power. At the same time, you do need to be responsible, okay, of how many hours you're working. Because if you're coming up with any old excuse of, oh, the Dodger game is on, God forbid you say Dodgers in San Diego, the Padres game is on, and you're going to stay home, or it's your highness day off from work, and you're like, oh, I want to kick back with my girl. If you're finding every old excuse not to go out there and work, you're going to be broke really quick. So that's number two. Number three, you can work as much as you want. You are needing to pay your credit card bills or make your car payment and cover rent as well, and you got to pay for groceries. Well, you can work up to 12 hours on one app before they shut you down and say you have to get some sleep. Okay. Now, what drivers in LA used to do that jump back and forth between two apps is, and honestly, they really did this, okay, because I spoke to a lot of them. I've never done it. They'll work 12 hours on Uber, and then the app will shut you down, and they'll do another 2 and 3 hours on Lyft, which gives you you know, like a 14, 15 hour day. If you want to do that, you can if you want to. I remember before I started the job, I did speak to a man that said he told me he made the last year about $100,000 driving Uber, but he was working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Okay, and back then with all the bonuses that they had, he wasn't lying because he was flipping through the app and showing me his weekly pay, and he didn't really, what I can recall, he didn't have anything under 1,800 for the week. Okay, this was a long time ago in 2018. Fourth pro, you got no boss. Okay, this was the thing that was such a relief when I first started doing rideshare back in the day, because as an English teacher, I did love my job, but I had problems with administration. I didn't like the way they were running things. I didn't like the way they did our teacher evals. I mean, for example, you're sending in lights just went out again here. You're sending in someone to do my teacher eval that has less teaching experience than me and has a background in business. How are you gonna how are you gonna help me? How are you supposed to show me how to teach English? These people. Okay, that's a different story. But as a rideshare driver, you got no boss. You're your own boss. You run the show, which is a lot more responsibility. You have to be responsible. But for myself, I have enough self discipline to go ahead and make this a benefit for myself. Okay. So you got that? Let me reiterate real quick. Okay, four pros: crossing the line when you want to, you making your own hours. Number two. Number three, you work as much as you want, up to 12 hours on each app. And number four, no boss. Okay. Now, let's get to the cons. Okay. Number one con, and this is why I cannot recommend you guys come down here and do rideshare, okay, just to live in Tijuana. You are risking your life. You literally risk your life when you're out there driving. I've seen so many bad accidents, guys. I'm talking about, I remember back on the 405, okay, this man, and it was in the rain, okay. This man, I don't know how he was driving, but he his car was in a bunch of different pieces. Okay, window here, door here, windshield there. It was in a bunch of different pieces, and the LAPD had shown up, but the ambulance had not, and the man had passed away. They put a yellow or pink bag over the body. I've seen that. I kid you not. From what I can recall in LA, I've seen that. I saw it clearly twice. Okay, where someone passed away and the LAPD came, but the ambulance had not. You need to think about this because no matter how good of a driver you are, you cannot control the way other people drive, and there are a bunch of idiots out there on the street. That's the most stressful thing about doing rideshare. And I would suggest if you guys do decide to do rideshare, you're doing rideshare right now, make a plan to get out. Make a plan to get out because honestly, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to risk your life for $1,000 a week, or sometimes it's only 800. You know, you be working on something else to get out what you really want to do. Okay, this was my mistake. Um, just being in rideshare and kind of floating around for a while and not being serious about making a way out. Okay, so for sure, that's the number one con. Number two con, you're assuming all the liability if you get into an accident. Okay, trust me, guys, it's happened to me. There's not a lot that hasn't happened to me doing rideshare. Thank God I have never been robbed or anything like that, like other drivers. I've never been in a physical altercation. But you assume all the liability. If you're using your own car, you get in an accident, okay? I mean, you're assuming all that liability. Your insurance goes up, you're assuming all that liability, okay? Uber and Lyft do provide their own insurance to cover you on each ride, but you still have to be fully insured. Okay, or you can be in a situation where you're part of the Uber rental program. Okay, you're renting a vehicle, and you if you sign up for full coverage, you have the loss damage waiver. You can get in an accident and not be held liable because you have the loss damage waiver, but you're going to be paying at least $350 a week to rent that car. Okay. I'm just letting you know. Number three con, guys, and I don't think there's a way to stop this. Waymo, okay? I've talked about it in another video. Waymo is going to take over. It's all over Los Angeles, all over San Francisco, and I believe it's also in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, why do I think this? Well, think about it, guys, okay? Youngsters 20, 21, 22 prefer these kinds of rides because they can click, 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 and here comes a robot car with no driver. They don't have to speak to real people. Okay. They prefer those rides. Okay. Trust me, I talk to riders every single day in my car, all different ages. This is a new generation and it's a new time. It's more convenient to click, 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 and have a robot car show up with no driver. You get in the passenger seat and you're messing around on your phone, and the car's driving for you. Okay. It's a lot more convenient. You know, youngsters, the majority, I'm not saying all you guys, okay? Majority of youngsters don't like to talk to live people like people in our age group do, 48, 49, 50. We love making conversation. They don't, okay? And this is just a statistical fact, all right? And there's exceptions to, okay, to everything, but I'm just saying, I'm just generalizing here. Youngsters prefer them. The other group that prefers them is young ladies getting out of the club at 2 a.m. or getting off of work. Feel safer in a robot car than in a car with a driver that they don't know, because at night it's all men driving, okay? Or whoever. It doesn't have to be young ladies. People don't always feel safe late at night in a car with an actual driver that they don't know, but a robot car, okay? It's safer, okay? And you can say, yeah, the robot car can crash, they make errors. Yes, they do. But right now, They keep perfecting the technology. Every 3 months, the technology gets better. It's just a matter of time before the owners of these apps, okay, say, well, we're going to buy a fleet of these Waymo cars, robot cars, and that way we get to keep all the money. Don't got to pay us drivers anymore, right? They already took away pretty much all of our weekly bonuses that we used to have back in 2018. None of that exists, okay? So, no way to stop Waymo and AI. It's going to take over, and this is inevitable, guys. It's just like self checkout at Walmart and Costco. That's going to take over. Just like ordering your burger on the touch screen at McDonald's. That's going to take over. Okay. And the fourth con, this is going to be, I think, the biggest con if you are coming to Tijuana and you're going to be crossing the border to do rideshare. Really, for anyone that has to cross the border to go work in San Diego, it will severely diminish your lifestyle here in Mexico, in Tijuana. You can't even enjoy it. Honestly, you can't even enjoy it. I'm kind of glad it's raining today, bro. Can you hear it? I'm glad it's raining today because, man, it gives me an extra day off. Usually I just have one day off a week. It's gonna diminish your quality of life here. You can't even enjoy walking down the street here in playas and eating tacos at a carrito or getting a michelada, hanging out on the beach. You won't have time because you're always busting your butt crossing the border, okay, to work. And then when you come back, you're going to be too tired. I know about this because I do it firsthand. I'm telling you from firsthand experience. Okay. It's going to diminish your life here. And if you can be in one of those other situations where you just cross the line every once in a while, you're going to have a much better quality of life here. And if you move to playas, you'll actually get to enjoy the beach and the people and the food here without feeling that constant pressure of having to cross the line, okay, to bust your ass and then come back here. All right. So, in the end, I can't recommend you do this. Okay. I can't recommend that you do this. In my last video, I was telling you guys about the best situations to be in to move here. You know, for myself, I'm looking to become completely remote so I don't have to do this anymore because I would like to enjoy my time here in playas and not have to bust my butt every day. It will wear you down if you got to cross the line every single day just to work. Okay, not just if you're doing rideshare, but if you're doing other stuff, you got to be at a certain place. You got to be at Amazon or I don't know, wherever you work, the hospital, it's going to wear you down. That's why that young man that I picked up yesterday said he moved back. He told me he thought he had everything figured out, but he just got tired day after day of waking up at 2 and 3 a.m. just to cross the line and then go work 8 hours and come back. Okay. And eventually it wore him down. And he was a young man, okay, in his 20s. And so, well, guys, I'll reiterate real quick before I end this video. So the pros of doing rideshare in San Diego while living in Tijuana, you cross the line when you want. You're going to make your own hours. You can work as much as you want, up to 12 hours on one app. And number four, you don't have a boss. Cons. Okay. The number one con for sure. Okay, I'm not kidding. You are risking your life. You may not think so. You think, Mike, oh, if I drive careful. No, man. It doesn't matter how careful you drive. Let me tell you something. I've been rear ended 3 times at a complete stop by people messing around on their phone and not paying attention. First guy in Van Nuys, of course, almost killed me in front of Pedlo Park over there. 50 miles per hour, bam, into the back of my car, pushed me into the lady in front of me, her car. I hit her bumper. Okay. And this guy, he was just on his phone, not paying attention, totaled my car. Okay. And two other situations like that where I was rear-ended where the person wasn't paying attention. So it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are, guys, honestly. Okay. It, it's not a matter of if you're going to get in an accident, it's a matter of when. Okay. Number two, you assume all the liability. Okay. You get in an accident with your own car. Okay. You get ready to deal with your insurance and to talk to adjusters. Okay. You may be in the Uber rental program, okay, but if you don't have the liability waiver that you got to pay extra for, okay, well, you're liable for all the payments on that car. Okay. Number three, Waymo is taking over and it's inevitable. Don't think that it's not. Okay. AI is taking over this job. Believe me, there's no way to stop it. It's more efficient. It's eventually going to drive more efficiently than a human if it isn't already. Okay. And number four, number one and number four of the cons are the big ones. It's going to severely diminish your life here in Playas, okay, or in Tijuana or in Mexico because you're always having to cross the line to go to work. And when you come back, you're not going to have energy to enjoy your time here. And like I always say, guys, what I've learned in these 9 months of living here in Tijuana and working over there in SD, you you do not want to be doing this living between two worlds. You want to come to Mexico and just enjoy. Okay. Well, guys, that's going to be it. 22-minute video already. I hope you guys are all doing well. If you find value in my comment, please like and subscribe. Um, I used to say I appreciate all comments, but those of you that are drinking a bunch of haterade and writing comments that are not helpful or just are being rude, well, you know what, man? You're just either going to get ignored or deleted because I don't have time for that kinds of stuff. I just have time for, I mean, if you have a difference of opinion, that's fine, but it's the way you say things to people, and that's uh that's really all I got to say about that. Okay, guys. Well, buen dia, guys. Have a great day. Get the vaya bien, and I will talk to you soon. God bless. Bye.